So I am back at my apartment, which only can mean one thing. I am doing an unboxing video, and I just can't believe how popular my unboxing videos are. Actually, they're 3 times more popular than my actual fishing videos. So the people have spoken, and gotta give the people what they want. So I'm back here with another unboxing from the Hookup Tackle. And don't think my channel is gonna be turning into an unboxing channel. It's still gonna be a lot of hands-on fishing outside on the water. Now, one of my favorite online tackle stores of all time is definitely the Hookup Tackle, and now their main kind of headquarters, I guess you could call it, is in Arizona, where they actually have a walk-in store. Here in New Hampshire, I just can't get in my car and drive to Arizona. So I actually order from the Hookup Tackle online quite a bit. I just love that they sell a lot of Japanese only colors and baits. Let's just get right into this boxing. The first bait I bought is a Megabass Idle Shiner, and this color is called GG Perch. Now in New Hampshire, there are yellow perch everywhere, even in the smaller ponds, so that's why I chose to go with this perch color. It imitates a perch in my area perfectly. And this bait is 1/2 ounce, and it's suspending. Now everybody knows a Megabass Vision 110. Not too many people actually know about the Megabass Idle Shiner. And believe it or not, this bait actually came out years before the Vision 110. And just like in the name, the Vision 110 is 110 millimeters, while this Idle Shiner is 115 millimeters, so a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier. Like I said, this jerkbait here came out years before the Vision 110 did, and kind of think of the Vision 110 as kind of like a tight action bait, while this Idle Shiner is more of a side-to-side bait. They advertise this bait as you can really kick this bait out 30% farther to each side than a Vision 110 would. So with the warming water temps up north where I live in New Hampshire, this bait with the more side-to-side action is gonna be great. Don't get me wrong, the Vision 110 will still work fine in warming water temps. This is a Megabass Vision 110. And then this is an Idle Shiner. As you guys can tell, the Idle Shiner is gonna have that little bit of a hump back to it, which is really gonna give it that side-to-side flash kind of roll when you jerk it underneath the water, unlike the Vision 110. The Vision 110 is really gonna be quick and darty underneath the water, where this is really gonna kick out side to side. When the warming water temps, this jerkbait is what I'm gonna be switching to, because the bass are gonna be slightly more aggressive, especially in post-spawn when they're gonna be feeding up on bluegill and perch and whatnot. I really think that this jerkbait is gonna excel post-spawn. Another thing too is, with this bait being 1/2 ounce, and it also has like a weight transfer system in it, you can cast this jerkbait super far in the wind. Then that's another time this bait will excel, because this bait is loud underneath the water, it's noisy, it's flashy, so you really can get a fish's attention in like a super windy with big waves kind of day. That is the Idle Shiner in GG Perch, the original Megabass jerkbait. Now, sticking with the Megabass jerkbait, this is a Vision 110 plus 2, and again, a perch color. This color is called GP Pro Perch, and that G in GP just stands for ghost. Now this is more of a clear, kind of translucent perch color, but this GG perch is pretty solid. Can't really see through it that well. Now the Megabass Vision 110 plus 2 is 1/2 ounce, and this will dive all the way down to 12 feet. Also, if you beef up your line to like 15-20 pound, this is only going to dive about 9 to 10 feet. But I just love the Megabass's perch imitation colors. They just match the perch in my area perfectly. And the +2, all that means is gonna have a bigger bill. Now all the way on the right hand side here, that's just a original Megabass Vision 110, and then in the middle you have a +1, and then in my right hand, or I guess your guys' left, that's a +2. So very obvious bigger bill, very obviously it's gonna dive down deeper. But the nice thing about these Megabass jerkbaits is you never lose that action. You always keep that same kind of quick darty action underneath the water. In the +1, the +2, and the original, they all have the same action underneath the water. And they also all have the same weight transfer system. And the reason why I decided to pick up a +2 is because since we're going to be getting ready for post-spawn, actually a lot of the smaller ponds are already post-spawn. In my opinion, in my unprofessional opinion, I think the bass are going to be moving from their shallow bedding areas into the first kind of deep ledge they find. And I think a deep diving jerkbait is a perfect way to find those fish. Moving right along, and this is another Megabass jerkbait. This time it's the 110 Max LBO. In my, again, unprofessional opinion, this is definitely more of a warm water bait. It's 3/4 of an ounce, 135 millimeters. So almost 20% bigger than a normal Vision 110. And this is floating. But to me, this is gonna be like the perfect post-spawn around like bluegill beds. Because all springtime, the bluegill have been bothering the bass on the beds. And now post-spawn, when the bluegill are on the beds, the bass kind of take their revenge. So in my opinion, I think this is going to be the perfect shallow water around bluegill beds. That's why I got it in this bluegill pattern. And just like all the other Vision 110s, it's really going to have that tight, darty action, unlike the Ido Shiner that I was talking about earlier. That's really going to have a wider rolling action. But this LBO, or this Max LBO, is going to have that same tight, darty action a normal Vision 110 would. But this bait is bigger, and you can work this bait a lot faster in shallow water because it's floating. And this bait specifically here, I'm actually going to be putting 20-pound fluorocarbon on it, just because I do want this bait to stay up a little bit higher in the water column. If I were to use like 8 or 10-pound test, then this bait would get down too deep and it would risk getting snagged up in like the weeds or sticks or rocks that the bluegill are bedding in. With that 20-pound line, I'll be able to keep this maybe 2 feet underneath the surface. Now I'm going to be casting this on the edges of the bluegill bed, because that's where the big bass are going to be waiting in ambush, just waiting for a dumb bluegill to swim slightly too far away from its nest. That is the Megabass Vision 110 Max LBO. I think the color is called Gill. Yeah, it is called Gilco. Okay, moving on to a company that I haven't really heard much of, OSP. OSP stands for Osprey Spiritual Performer. Long name, but this is the HP Minnow 3.7. Now, I call this bait one of the most versatile kind of swim baits slash fluke style baits, because this works great on a ball head, a drop shot, a chatterbait trailer, really like a Ned rig. Anything you want to use this bait for, it'll be good for. Even if you want to use it for a mini fluke, it'll work good. And the thing that I like about it when I saw it is, as you guys can tell, there's a slit down the back half of this style bait. There's a slit down the back half of this little fluke style bait, and that's really gonna give this tail just a small little quiver underneath the water, which is perfect like on a little ball head, where the purpose of throwing a little ball head is not to have too much action to it. So throwing this on the back of it and just letting this tail quiver ever so slightly is a very nice finesse presentation for smallmouth and even largemouth in cold water. But I've never actually used the HP Minnow before. I just thought the little slit in the back was kind of a cool idea, and I figured I'd give it a shot, so I really don't have much to say about it. This is 3.7 inches long, and the color is Cosmo Black. And it's just black with a bunch of different color glitter in it. But I gotta finish up this unboxing. My neighbor's dog is barking again, like usual. Alright, so the last thing in today's unboxing, this is called the Oceania Mushi Daddy. I hope I got that right. But this was actually kind of like a gimmick bait also from OSP. Now, I don't think like the next tournament, professional tournament are going to be won on this. Like I said, I think it's going to be kind of like a gimmicky bait, like, oh, I think it'll be fun to throw that one day. And the Oceania Mushi Daddy is a little popper, a soft plastic popper bait. Actually not gonna take this out of the package just because I'm not quite sure when I'm gonna use it yet. I do have some ideas for this for some river smallmouth. When I saw these on the hookup tackle, I'm like, oh man, those look so cool. I gotta try them out. And they had two sizes. They had the Daddy, and then they just had the Oceania Mushi. Cool thing is, this popper here, it's like a kind of like a foam head weighted popper, so this bait is weighted, so you still can get that nice castability of just a normal popper, but you still get that cool presentation of a floating bug on top of the water. Like, a lot of issues with bug lures is that you just don't have a lot of castability because they don't weigh a lot, but with this weighted jig head, that eliminates that problem completely. Now, they say you can get away using a bait caster with this lure. I would still use a spinning setup unless you have some sort of BFS gear. I think this will be cool just to try it on the creek one day for some smallmouth. I said I don't think I'm going to be winning any tournaments on this lure, but I just thought it was really cool to try out. This year I kind of fell in love with the jerkbait, if you guys couldn't tell. I really did pretty well with it in really cold water this year. It helped me catch fish in really clear water, where in my opinion I typically wouldn't have caught fish, just because fishing really deep clear water I don't really have a lot of experience with. But this year I decided to try a jerkbait in those conditions, and it's been working well for me. But I'm definitely gonna be filming more unboxing videos. It's not gonna be taking over my channel or anything like that, but definitely more unboxings to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Peace.